Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Thursday. This is the Woo Report, episode 230. 230 episodes. Wow, of the Woo Report. I'm your host, Sam Woo. The title of tonight's podcast is Welcome Bill Spaulding. Fabian Zetterlund signs with the Devils. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios at the Bunker, somewhere in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, Twitch, and Twitter Space. I see people filing in on Twitter Space, filing in on YouTube Live channel Let's Go Devils. Yeah. Another night of Devils hockey talk in the offseason. But of course, the Devils are making news again. Ryan Novozinski yesterday broke it on NJ.com, saying sources that Bill Spaulding would be the next New Jersey Devils play-by-play announcer. And again, when you hear sources and you hear Ryan Novozinski and you hear NJ.com, I just waited to just have the big announcement before we start talking about it. It was good to know yesterday that the Devils' voice is in good hands. Reading up on Bill Spaulding, a Syracuse grad. I think he went to school with Erica Wachter in the same program, I believe. All the congratulations going around. Ken Danico, obviously fired up. Ken Danico, good friend of the podcast. The new voice. And the Devils fans since the 80s have been blessed with great play-by-play announcers. Let's go back in time. Steve Cangelosi. We all love Steve. Always brought the energy to each Devils game. The last 10 years hasn't been very good on the ice, but the product that Madison Square Garden Networks has brought has been pretty impressive. Keeps us engaged. You remember Doc Emmerich, also a good friend of the podcast as well. Doc Emmerich, for many years, called some of the most significant games in New Jersey Devils history. Also did time with the Flyers, ESPN, Doc Emmerich. Some of those that may remember, Gary Thorne, play-by-play announcer for the New Jersey Devils. And not many people know this, and I've said this several times on this podcast, that Bill Clement actually got his start with the New Jersey Devils before ESPN discovered him back in 1986, I believe. I think he had only done 6 or 8 Devils games on the radio before opportunity knocks. That's when Bill Clement got his big break. And he signed on with ESPN, called many of the Devils' Stanley Cup victories. Good friend of the podcast as well. See, folks, we've been loaded with guests. Loaded with guests on this podcast. The Let's Go Devils podcast. We bring you some high-quality guests. And now Bill Clement will be inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame as a broadcaster. And his broadcast career started actually with the New Jersey Devils on the radio, no less. Isn't that amazing? And so, Devils fans, you've been blessed with Doc Emmerich, with Steve Cangelosi, Chico Resch. Doc and Chico, that combo will always live in our hearts. The Chico eats, the personality that Chico is. But Bill Spaulding right now is the new generation voice of the New Jersey Devils. Young guy, too. I was looking at his bio. He paid his dues, listening to his calls. I want to get your feedback. I want to get all your feedback on social media, on YouTube Live. I'm looking at YouTube Live chat. Now, Jim Leahy's already saying trade Severson for a proven winner. No, we're talking about Bill Spaulding right now. We're going to welcome in Bill Spaulding because this is important, folks. The next generation. Because we've seen in New York sports some of the best broadcasters come through these regional sports networks and go on to do bigger and better things. Also coming through on SNY, Kevin Burkhardt. Before he got that job, which is now Steve Gelb's on SNY, Kevin Burkhardt is a Jersey guy working at an auto dealership, sending tapes. We're going back to 2001 here, sending tapes, his demo tapes, to various media outlets, and got his big break with SNY. And now Kevin Burkhardt is now Fox Sports lead play-by-play guy after Joe Buck left for greener pastures, I guess, and Troy Aikman. But now Kevin Burkhardt, a Jersey guy, worked his way, and now he is the play-by-play announcer for the NFL football. Now, switching gears with hockey, want to hear what your thoughts of Bill Spaulding's demo. I like what I heard. I really liked what I heard. Very calm, informative, can bring that excitement when the play presents itself. Now, Ken Danico, I guess, tried out with several of these broadcasters. You know, early on, I thought the favorite would be Don LaGreca. Don LaGreca, Jersey guy. But that would have been tough with the Michael Kay show, where he co-hosts with one of the most highly rated shows, Sports Talk Radio. Jim Leahy, I love Kanji. Eugene Hewitt, Sam, where is the demo? This is what you do, Eugene. After the podcast, go to YouTube, type in Bill Spaulding demo. That's all you need to do. And then you just hit enter, and then boom, you got it. But don't leave the live podcast right now to be listening. You should be listening to the Woo Report, episode 230. As we're in the middle of August, we're about, 40 days away from training camp, getting ready for hockey. We got World Juniors going on, take 2. Peter Hauser and Luke Hughes participating. Has anybody been watching World Juniors? It's nice to see some hockey during the summer. I see all of you on the Twitter space. I see Tanner, Paul, Mark, I don't know, NJ Jim Devil, April. So thank you for joining us. We're doing this new thing called Twitter Space as well, along with Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live. But also another signing, 1-year deal, 2-way contract, Fabian Zetterlund. I think he would be my dark horse of making the team. Outside shot, maybe not right away with his 2-way contract, but he brings that edge, doesn't he? And that's what the Devils need. Now, they did get a little beef. They got Miles Wood back. Hopefully he's healthy. You got Eric Howla as well. Can bring some of that toughness, some of that grit. Nathan Bastion is back. And these are all good things because that's what we wanted. We wanted beef. And we also wanted Tom Fitzgerald to spend. Spend he did. He did spend. And he's up to the cap with a little flexibility. He could make a couple moves here to get a little bit more cap space. You got to be happy with Tom Fitzgerald, what he's done so far. So far. The coaches he's gotten, both the associate coach and assistant coach, and then with Lindy Ruff being back for his third season, you would have to say that if things don't go well in the first 8 weeks of the season, could he be on the hot seat? He could be on the hot seat a little bit earlier. But I don't think he will be, folks, because I think Tom Fitzgerald has entrusted the team to Lindy Ruff. He's done everything you could ask for at this point, developing Jack Hughes, developing Nico Hischier into leaders, into who they are right now, this juncture of their careers. I think that Lindy Ruff has been through the growing pains, and he should see through it to finish the job that he came here to do. And this is going to be a very exciting hockey team, folks. It's going to be a fast team, fast transition team. The defense, well, let's just hope they fix the defense. Let's hope that the goaltending will be a happy problem when you've got two above average 1A, 1B starters on your roster. Because you know that Mackenzie Blackwood is going to have a say in all this. If healthy, he's not a bad goaltender. He's showed flashes of brilliance. If I need to remind you that game against the Boston Bruins during the shortened pandemic season of 2021, where he made that last-second save, game-winning save on the edge of the goal line to stop the big, bad Boston Bruins. Remember, and I'll keep on banging this through your head, folks, Team Canada was looking at Mackenzie Blackwood to be that goaltender to represent the country of Canada. Shane Van Sickle says, Sam, I saw an article on pucksandpitchforks.com. I also write for them about us possibly looking into getting Jake Uncher. Well, thoughts? I have no thoughts on that right now. Maybe I'll give you my thoughts tomorrow on the Woo Report. But right now I want to make this about Bill Spaulding. Because I think Bill Spaulding maybe have some great fortune here of becoming the new Devils play-by-play announcer for MSG Networks. Because like when Doc Emmerich came back from Philadelphia and took over for Gary Thorne, he came at like probably the best time when the Devils started to really solidify themselves for a Stanley Cup run. Doc Emmerich got to see the best of the best when he came back. But also, as Devils fans, we knew that he was one of the best of the best. Hello, Matt Junio. Hello, everyone. He's there on the Facebook Live. Let's see here. Reading Jim Leahy says, congrats on episode 230, Sam. Best Devs fans YouTube account. Thank you so much. I mean, this podcast, we're doing about 1,000 downloads on average a day right now, and this is just the off season. Like, we're in record numbers. We just started off as three Devils fans at a bar talking Devils hockey and just basically put microphones and cameras on ourselves, which has turned out to be this. And for those that are joining in for the first time, let me tell you about this podcast. In October, we are going to hit our 5-year anniversary. 5 years. We're going to have a brand new logo. It's going to have the 5 years in it, just like how the Devils had the 40 years in it. We're going to celebrate our 5 years because it's a labor of love. We survived the pandemic when we had 9.5 months of no Devils hockey. We were there, folks. We were there. We had already figured out this live video stuff and streaming before that even happened. But I will tell you this, that we are just floored what kind of Devils community we have through this magical machine called the internet. And it's been, a good thing. I know a lot of people talk about the internet being a bad thing. But if there's a positive right here, it's brought Devils fans together. We talked to Brat Pack. His Twitter account's been blowing up. Ryan Novozinski, again, through this podcast. We were probably the first interview. One of the first, or maybe the first interview with Ryan Novozinski of NJ.com. Don't forget about Robert Aiken. Robert Aiken of NorthJersey.com, given the coverage, but we want more Devils coverage. We want excitement. We want this to be ready so when the Devils are going to the playoffs and when the Devils are making their charge to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then Biznasty, Paul Bissonnette, will have to live up to his bet and tattoo the Devils mascot, NJ Devil, on his ass because he said so, because he doesn't believe the Devils are going to be that good in 2 years. He doesn't believe it. And this is where we welcome Bill Spaulding. I feel like we're in a new era right now of Devils hockey. I feel the positive vibes. Are you feeling the positive vibes, Devils fans? I've been negative on this podcast. Heck, I put on the Mickey Mouse costume every once in a while to make a point. It's been a lot of losing. But we're going to have a great play-by-play announcer, just judging by the demo. And I hope you folks welcome Bill Spaulding with open arms. Of course, there's going to be Jersey tough criticism. If you're going to make it in New Jersey, you got to be tough. And I forewarned Bill Spaulding's Devils fans, they expect the best at all times. That's the Jersey way, folks. Am I correct? Jim Leahy says, you should make business cards and hand them out at games. You know what? I did make business cards, and only one person has them, and did nothing with them so far. But we'll think about it. We have bumper stickers. I don't know if anybody's ever seen our bumper stickers. It's basically our logo. Maybe we'll make some T-shirts like, you got our jersey back here. That's our Let's Go Devils podcast jersey. We better get the orders out soon before opening night. Maybe we'll sell some merch at Todd's Lounge 973, 35 Edison Place, where we do game day live, pre-gaming for the game. I got a request on Twitter Space. Somebody wants to come on. Gary, hold on a sec. Somebody wants to come on. I'm sorry, David. I can't do this just yet because we're going to have to going to have to put in a mechanism, and I appreciate, David, you wanting to come on, but, for now, this is a family-friendly podcast. We got to figure a way to screen callers. That may be coming very soon, especially on Devils After Dark, after the game, getting your reaction, because we want to make sure that whoever we bring on air is going to bring good quality discussion, good quality points on this podcast. And I'm not saying, David, that you wouldn't. It's just please be patient for now, because we're still trying to figure out this new technology of actually taking you, the fans, sounding off on this fine programming. And that's what we're getting at. We're one of the few podcasts that do things live all the time. We do it live at the venue, at our own bar, Todd's Lounge 973 on 35 Edison Place, across the street from the Prudential Center. Also, if you remember, Ken Danico came out to our podcast live outside of Amalie Arena. We were literally on Amalie Arena property down in Tampa, Nick Villano and I doing a podcast with Vinny Parisi remote in from Chicago in front of you Devils fans that traveled to the game. And what happened that game? The Devils came back in the third period with some unanswered goals, and we beat the two-time, or actually three-time Stanley Cup champion, recently back-to-back at that time, in their building. And that was just awesome. That was just awesome. And I hope, folks, I really hope that you guys stick with us for the rest of the season next year, because I think the Devils may start off slow. But you're going to see at some point that all this rebuilding, all this misery is going to be over. It's coming, folks. Tom Fitzgerald has spent all the money for this upcoming season. What will Palat bring to the lineup? He's going to be very exciting. He is going to be clutch. He's going to be Mr. Clutch. He's going to have to be. Over $6 million. Jesper Bratt looking to prove himself. Okay, here's some money. Well deserved. Breakout year. Come on, Jesper. Show us something. Here's your opportunity. Ryan Graves, unrestricted free agent. Same with Damon Severson. Could be something, folks. I think the Devils are very well positioned right now, either way. If they have another bad season, well, let me tell you, 2023 draft is looking pretty good. I hope we don't go there another year. But you know that NHL trade deadline is full of rentals if things go sour for the Devils in the beginning of the year. I think what I want to see is Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier and Mackenzie Blackwood be healthy from start to finish for all 82 games. Steve Tarda says no draft talk zone. Yeah, but it's 2023 NHL draft, Steve. Have you seen the prospects there? These are generational players, some of them. Come on, Steve. Give me some slack. Shane Van Sickles says, Sam, I meant to tell you, I met you a long time ago at Prudential Center. I have to ask, do you still have the goal light helmet? Shane, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have it somewhere. That goal light helmet's pretty funny. If you go back to like Stanley Cup Finals games back in 2000, 2001, and maybe 2003, I'm actually on TV, usually coming in from a commercial break. You got the camera guy behind us, and he would just like zoom in, and I would just turn it on. Yeah, I still have it. There were a couple times where the battery fried literally at a game, and my helmet was actually on fire. a couple times because we had some technical malfunctions with that goalie helmet. I probably have it somewhere. I should probably wear it for a podcast, shouldn't I? Shane Van Sickle, I will find that goalie helmet and wear it on a podcast one of these days, and I promise you. And yeah, I mean, you know what? I should probably get new batteries for that goal light helmet because I think the way this team is looking and their future is looking, I think they're going to be popping a lot of goals. I don't think that's going to be the problem. I think what we need to see is structure defensively and good goaltending, timely goaltending. Because great goaltending can change the entire mindset of your hockey team, and you bet it will. Also, folks, that I think right now, in recap, Bill Spaulding, great choice. Great choice. I mean, there were great candidates out there. And I'm not just saying that. I'm just not saying that because just to say that. But I think that if the chemistry is there, and which seems to be, hey, maybe he will be feeding Dano that one-liner, and Dano will finish it home. They could be a lethal combo from now and the future, and put your trust in MSG Networks. And Roland, I think that's the producer over there. They know what they're doing, and don't worry about that, Devils fans. The only thing I have to worry about, really, or what we have to worry about, is where to find the games. I mean, geez, like everything's so fragmented now. Are they on ESPN Plus? Oh, are they MSG? They blacked out here. Remember back in the day, trying to find MSG2 was like a nightmare, and sometimes you didn't even have it if you're depending upon what cable. I think I had Patriot Media before Comcast bought it out, and it's like, where are the Devils? Metro? Well, I don't have Metro. So you have to go to a bar or go to your friend's house that had not Comcast, Optimum. And that was the only way you could actually get the game. Well, those days, now are coming back. I just want them all on one phone. Be simple. Why do we have to make things so complicated? But you know what? Worst case, Matt and Chico on the app, on the NHL app, Devils app. That's not too bad. Matter of fact, that's what I mostly listen to while I do this podcast, and we're moving along. So speaking of moving along, I want to thank all those tuning in, dropping the podcast at midnight for your morning or afternoon commute. We'll be back tomorrow on the Woo Report. Hope you join me on a Friday night. Doing a Woo Report. You guys probably think I don't have a life. But really, I just do it for you folks. Because I could be doing something else right now. But I'd rather hang out with you folks. That's how much I love my fans and love this group. Well, thank you. Oh, by the way, next week, we may have some big guests coming up. I'm not going to name names right now, but I've been hearing some stuff through the rumor mill amongst my co-hosts that we may have some some big names, some names that you want to hear on the podcast. Also, big shout out to Little Fireboy. I see that he's listening in on Twitter Space. Little Fireboy likes to social media bar hop, is what I say. He's on Twitter Space. He's on Twitter Live. Then he's commenting on YouTube Live, and then he's going on Facebook Live. Little Fireboy gets around. Anyway. All right, I want to thank all those listening in. Dropping the podcast at midnight. I'm repeating myself, but that's what happens when you get a little older. You just keep on repeating yourself. But also, I'm trying to stall because I'm trying to hit the music. Hit the button, is what they say. As we're getting out of here. Shane Van Sickle, I will try to get that Goal Light helmet just for you because you show up on the YouTube Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Let's Go Devils. Type it in the search, Let's Go Devils Podcast. On Facebook, at Let's Go Devils Podcast. Follow us there. Or follow us on Twitter, at Let's Go Devils Pod. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the night. I'll see you tomorrow around 9 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, let's go Devils.